had to describe the season in one word to sum it up, what would it be?
Oh, that might be the toughest question I've had all year, man. I don't know if I can say one word. It's just because there's so many things about the season. You know, there's great moments, disappointing moments. You know, that's something you'd have to ask me. I'd have to like brainstorm, you know, like look up definitions in the dictionary. You know, but yeah, that's a tough one. I can't think of it off the top. Well, it's just an inconsistent year. I think all the hype we got at the beginning of the year wasn't necessarily fair. You know, we had so much talent, but it's a lot of young talent, and you see most of the successful teams, not including Kentucky for most of the time, because lots of times they have fresh new teams and succeed. But lots of times the best teams who make it to the NCAA tournament are teams that have been with each other for a few years and have had the time to kind of mesh. And I think there's too much of an individual mindset sometimes. You know, not all the time. We still finished fourth in the SEC. We experienced some definite success, but for most people looking at our talent level, that's not good enough, and I agree with them. I think there's many aspects to it, but I think some of it is lack of a definite leader. I think I could have done better in that role, but you know, I'm more of a lead by example type. For instance, I should have probably been more of a vocal leader, but you know, that's just one piece of the puzzle. Yeah, just didn't take advantage of many great opportunities that came our way.
What was this just something different about this team that you feel?
A little bit, and you know, some of that, and anybody observing would probably say that Ben, although as great as he is, probably would have had a little bit of to do with that. And some of it's not even something he can control. I'd put in all the ridiculous media attention on him throughout the year that. You know, it's kind of like no matter what we as a team did, if we had a great game, the spotlight would always be on him. So say if, you know, Tim had a ridiculously good game and all the highlights, it would show Ben's stuff. And, you know, no matter what you say, when you're fill a team with competitive basketball players who are used to being in the spotlight, it's kind of tough to just, you know, shrug that off. But, you know, we had to, and I think we did an adequate job of it, but not a good enough job to fulfill the potential we had. Well, one thing that wasn't the case this year for sure is that we never seemed to have an underdog mentality. We had all the ridiculous hype before the year, and I think it got to our heads a little bit at the start. We stopped playing with like the fire. We weren't really dogs on the court like we kind of were last year. The year before with the NCAA tournament team, and it seemed like we had to fight for our wealth, kind of, if you know what I mean. It seemed like before we played as if we already had done stuff due to the hype, everybody telling us, you know, we're the greatest, you know, before we even have done anything, and that's just how that goes, I guess. But well, you know, as Dale Brown has notably said. The team this year, we could have beaten anybody in the country and lost to almost anybody too. So that, you know, everybody always brings the Texas A&M game, the last game, up as just one of the worst scenarios, and it was pretty bad to watch. But really, they always put effort into the equation with that game. But I don't really think that was an issue. I think the issue was we just couldn't make any shots. You know, we were 2 for 26 at one point, and you know. Against Oklahoma and teams like that, any team that's considered, I guess, not quite as good as them at the time are going to step up and play at a higher level, or at least, you know, in theory. That's just another example of inconsistency, approaching each game a different way. And but the last game, we just couldn't make anything. Yeah, I was just come off surgery, like 2 days out, so I was still on the pain medication. I was kind of sitting on the couch, just like kind of watching it. But you know, seriously, it was sad to watch, just because I know it just wasn't a good. I guess it didn't represent the type of team we stood for, really, and it's just a harsh way to kind of go out. And yeah, I was pretty ticked off watching it. I was a little mad at the announcers, and at the same time, I just felt bad for the guys on my team because I know that they deserve better than that. Yeah, you know, I tried not to think about it too much, you know, in that way, only because I knew it would drag me down, and it couldn't, because I cared so much about, you know, not only, of course, the team, but also I worked so hard myself. So of course, anybody wants their senior year to be their best year. So, but at the same time, I had to look at it in every positive angle you could possibly think of, and I did. You know, it gave me kind of a mental rest, kind of revitalized my passion for working out again. But at the same time, it hurt me so bad not being able to be out there, especially when the team was struggling. So I did what I could from the sidelines, but still, that's, you know, you can do what you can, but you're still not out there on the court. Your presence isn't felt in the same way. Yeah, the players were involved, but I think it was the right decision, mainly because, and it really makes sense when you think about it. You know, we were really an NCAA like team in our minds. Like our whole goal that year was not only making the tournament but advancing in it. So it was just disappointing, and I guess Coach Jones didn't think that we would approach the NIT the right way. And the NIT is a great tournament. You know, if you don't come in with the right mindset, you can get embarrassed, and just kind of want to prevent a possibility of that happening. Yeah. And also we had some, you know, my injury, Tone was sick. There's just little other contributing factors. I think they're going to be fine because I know a lot of the guys coming in, and they have really kind of fresh mindsets. They're not prima donnas. You know, they're going to come in and they're going to really work hard, and they know that it's going to be kind of an opposite approach to this year. You know, they're not going to have the ridiculous expectation on them coming in. If anything, they'll be working hard to prove a lot of people wrong. I think they're very capable. Yeah, DP, you know, he's a guy who recruited me. His loss would hurt anybody, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We're going to have some really good guys, and there'll always be good coaches here. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's gonna be interesting.
And you'll try to make it back for as many games as
yeah, wherever I am, we'll see what happens. But of course, I'll always be coming back to the PMAC if I'm well and able to. Yeah, so for a while I just had to kind of lay low, and that was pretty tough for me at the time, but it was necessary, so just got through it. And then I've been doing some rehab stuff for the past 2 weeks, and it's no joke. Yeah. It's tough, but I'm back doing basketball stuff as well, so I'm getting back into the swing of things, safely. I'm not being stupid, but that's how it's going. And that's all you need to see.
Graduating in May, and what's after that?
You know what? I got to give you a big question mark there. It's going to involve basketball and me playing, but you know, like any player would say right now, you really just don't know. I'm going to get a shot. I'm with the NBA, 100%. I already have some teams looking at me. Summer league, you know, it's really all on me, kind of. So I get the opportunity. It's just I have to perform. But if that doesn't work out, I'd certainly like to go overseas, and just as long as I'm playing, and that's the goal right now, the nearsighted goal.
Yeah. Do you have an agent and everything?
I'm actually going to figure that out. I have like 3 ones, kind of like a top 3, I guess you could say. You know, they're good guys, but I'm going to pick one within the next week or so, and we'll go from there. Well, I just saw Tim actually, and I know he's working hard. I haven't talked to him that much, but you know, I see Antonio a lot, talk to him a lot too. I mean, there's not really much to talk about now, because you just really don't know what's going to happen. But I just know they're all, you know, working as hard as they normally do. And Ben, you know, he's just just recently came back to visit and for our banquet coming up, and he likes being back. I think he'll always enjoy coming to Baton Rouge. Man, well, my favorite memory, I think on the court it's definitely the Arkansas shot. That's kind of like if you putting my dad into it, it's kind of like the way it is to his. So I that was just one of the shot I always dreamed of making. Like when I'm in the gym alone counting down 5-4. Except I didn't imagine Josh passing to me, which is great because I'm close to him. But yeah, it was just a big time win, big shot on national television. I think it was on the main ESPN. So it was just a perfect situation. And my favorite memory from LSU. I think, honestly, and I still think about this, my first football game really here, it wasn't just because it was football and it was like the big atmosphere. I remember coming out and just seeing all the purple and gold, and me coming from a small school. I just didn't, it's all new to me then. I was a junior technically in school, but a freshman kind of in that atmosphere. I remember seeing Mike the Tiger run around and the mascot kind of wave the flag, and everybody went nuts. And I was like thinking to myself, you're in the real deal now. Like it's a big time place. And I remember the chills kind of going down my back and thinking, "God, this place is incredible." And that feeling hasn't really left me, and I don't think it ever will really, which is good.